Hi everyone, I'm Ben, and this is the Board Game Blueprint. This week, we're going to have a couple of the designers from Protospiel-Madison, which happened at the tail end of last year, talk about their designs, specifically the bits and pieces that were not supplied by the game crafter. So we're going to throw back to past Ben to visit us on site and talk to us a little bit more about some of the awesome things that were over there. Hi everyone, I'm Ben, and this is the Board Game Blueprint. You might be able to hear it in the background, but I'm at Protospiel-Madison. We're going to take a little peek inside, say hello to everybody, and see what's going on. This is Saturday, so it's the busiest day. It's going to be totally awesome. So let's go check it out. I'm going to just flip the camera, and we're going to go give it a little walk. If I can do that. Maybe not. Here we go. So here's the usual parts table right next to, there we go, right next to the door as you walk in, so you can grab any last minute cards or game pieces that you might need. What's kind of awesome about Madison is that they also have a printer set up. There's Dusty doing a little bit of last minute prototyping perhaps. And we got some really neat, cool new stuff being premiered here. Check out this super thick acrylic. Is it in the camera? Maybe? I got it backwards, so I'm so sorry, but here we go. These things are awesome, totally super cool, using for puns and things. So hopefully that'll be up on the store, on the shop pretty soon. We got our little card miniatures as well, and then of course the printed meeples. Super great stuff. Oh, and of course the neoprene playmats. Production samples for the win. Our usual hydration stations, and then we got, well, what's left of all the different snacks. I came in a little bit in the afternoon, so things are mostly taken up, but check out this room. It is filled, it is packed all the way to the back. So we'll go ahead and give it a little walk through pretty soon, or just right now, after I flip the camera and see what's going on. Hey! Very cool stuff. All right, we'll be back soon. Every year, we seem to get more designers, and every year we seem to get even cooler and cooler prototypes. Just take a look at the table presence of some of these games that we saw in December. And here's a little shout out to the youngest member of the Protospiel family, Protospiel Indie. Thanks, Carl. They absolutely grab the eye and invite you to play them. Some vendors, like MeepleSource.com, can supply custom pieces that are really just great, but for something that's totally out of the ordinary, let's listen to Mark Gindra. Hello everyone, we're here with Mark Gindra. Thank you very much. And Mark, you are from where again?
I'm from Seattle, Washington.
Perfect, so you flew in all the way to Madison to play test some games, it looks like, and this one here on the table is beautiful. I kind of am not going to get in your face. This is Alien Overrun. Do you mind kind of going us through a little bit of what the experience is like?
Oh, sure. It's a co-op game, so it's a 1 to 4 player co-op. You could play it solo if you want. And it's a mining base on a far-off alien planet. And inside the base, there's aliens have been taking over the mine. And your job is to come in here, take control of the mining rigs, which are over here on the right. And they're working their way down through the mine right now. And you go through and you mine a little bit. You upgrade your rigs, adding weapons to them so that you can go deeper into the mine. Eventually, you are powerful enough to take on the Alien Queen, and you will all fight the Alien Queen to try to beat her before she becomes too powerful, and there's just no way to beat her at a certain point. So it's got a soft end as opposed to a lot of other co-op games, where you end up with a solid, hard end to the game. This one has a soft end. You have a chance to win all the way down to when it's a little too overwhelming.
Sure thing. Thank you very much. Now I'm seeing a couple kind of really cool components that aren't just laser cut. Can you kind of go through a little bit of your process about how you maybe assembled some of these different things together for us?
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, so most of the parts are Game Crafter parts, but the trays here, those are created, I created them on Shapeways. I use Tinkercad, which is a 3D program that you can use to make 3D shapes, and I made those in Tinkercad, and I did the same thing with these. These are the mining rigs, and I did those in Tinkercad myself as well, and had them printed, I think, on Shapeways or one of those other 3D printing sites. But you can see the hexes are laser cut from the Game Crafter, so the little notches are cut so that you can fit the little wooden pieces in there and they don't slide around. But yeah, all the other parts, like I said, are Game Crafter parts. from the chipboard mats all the way to the standard mat, and all the tokens. We have all of that going on out here, and a lot of standard parts like the little green drops and the little plastic bits here, the blue and the green ones. So yeah, I just loved all the parts that the Game Crafter has, so I went after and got as many as I could to make the game out of.
Thank you so much. I really love the design intense, or I guess the accommodations for the players with those kind of weld tiles that you were mentioning, where the players can place them inside and everything like that. I'm really inspired that you can make most of your game on the Game Crafter, but still found another way to take care of that for us, and hopefully some of the viewers will be just as inspired.
Oh, I hope so.
All right, so we are in the final hours of Protospiel, and this is my friend from Facebook, the Board Game Design Lab Facebook community, Ken Rickard. And Ken has designed this board game Hedgehogs. Ken, could you maybe talk to us a little bit about what our objective is and what we're trying to do in the game?
Sure. Hedgehogs is a strategy game. We're each going to be playing landscape gardeners who've been hired by the city to beautify the public gardens. So our objective is to play as many of our colored pieces on the board as we can. For each space we cover, we get a point. And there's a bonus area, too, that plays into the strategy of the game. The challenge is, before we start placing our hedges, we have to place these one-unit hedgehogs on the board. And the problem with hedgehogs is that they're nasty little creatures that eat plants and block you from placing your hedges on the board. So it's a strategic area control game that scales from 2 to 4 players. So the size of the board varies based on how many people are playing.
That sounds all great. It looks like, we have a couple custom wooden bits in your game. Is that right, Ken?
We do. So one of the things that's really important, I think, in game design is having things that have weight and heft and feel real and give a good visceral experience to the player. So what we did for this one, the basic components require that we have these 1x1 pieces, the little hedgehogs, right, that are used as blockers. And then we have pieces that are 2 to 6 units long. These are all actually made out of quarter round that I hand cut, sanded down so you won't hurt yourself, and then painted in my garage, right? So what that does is it gives a nice weight to things. Just like, how Scrabble has those really nice pieces? It's the same way. Like my original prototype of this game was all done with crafting paper, right? But crafting paper doesn't have that same heft to it. So this, when you pick this piece up, it has real feel and real weight, and that really adds to the experience and enjoyment of the game.
Oh, I bet it absolutely does. Thank you, Ken, for talking with us a little bit, and really looking forward to seeing what happens next with Hedgehogs.
Thanks, man.
Don't worry, we'll probably have a full episode of Protospiel-Madison coming up shortly, in a while, but I'm just really happy that we got to feature a couple other resources and places that you can get other bits made that aren't just the Game Crafter. Because, believe it or not, they do exist. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you can stay up to date on future content like this. As always, I'm Ben. This has been another episode of the Board Game Blueprint, and together, let's build something great.